Today I'm going to show you how to install the Goldstrike Tour Blade for the 2018 and above Honda Goldwing Tour. I'm going to install the Goldstrike LED Tour Blade for the Goldwing. That's the part number. This accessory should add a new dimension of visibility and class to your Honda Goldwing Tour. These are the tools you'll need to do the job. A pick tool for the body panel clips, a JIS number 2 screwdriver, and a 5mm hex head tool. The first thing we have to do is remove the seat, and you do that by opening up the side panels on both sides and a bolt underneath the seat. So as I've mentioned, and as you've seen in the other videos, you first start by taking this cover off after you open the side panel. So you start from the back. There's a little lip there that goes into the notch on this panel. So you need to start from the back, pull it out, pull it up, and you pull it out like that. And it comes out like this. And you can set this somewhere where it won't get scratched. With a 6mm hex head wrench, you take the bolts out on both sides. As I said before, some might be a little tougher for others. Some spin around here. Make sure you retain the washer that bolt contains for the seat. Most people will place a piece of protective tape here and there to protect your paint from these nylon bolts under here. But I just normally just come with my hand and move the seat forward. I should put it forward. Forward. And don't forget the connector on this side of the seat. Clear. I highly recommend you purchase and install the Goldstrike Goldwing wiring harness that's custom made for your Goldwing. It'll make your installation a lot easier. Identify which one's the left harness and which one's the right harness, and then determine which side you're going to go on. You can tell by the coloring and the markings. This was marked left, this one's marked right. Press the connector tab here and just pull that apart. You leave that in place. Just move that back. Do the same thing for the other side. Just press and pull back. Again, ensuring that you have the correct side that's labeled right. Check the correct orientation of the tabs. Just plug it in. First thing you want to do is move this to the point where you'll be able to move these wires around once you get it installed. Once it's lined up, plug it in. Then you can do this. Other end, line it up, plug it in. So all you have to do with this tab now is push this back underneath this group of wires and down. Therefore, when the seat comes back in here, it won't interfere with the seat coming back in place. These wires, just move them forward underneath the rail. Make sure they're laying flat back here as well, underneath there, and move them to this general area here. And you can do the same thing for the other side. Check your orientation. Make sure it lines up correctly. Push that side in. But again, you may first want to ensure that this is what to a point where you can be able to push these back out of the way. And right now, this is attached to a bundle. There you go. Reattach that. And push this backwards. And push this piece in. Slide that on. Again, pushing this all the way down and backwards to make sure it has no contact with the seat when the seat comes back on. Same thing with this. Make sure it goes underneath this rail here. In my case, I got other wires running through. You gotta make sure it goes underneath this rail. And push it out of the ring here. Again, you push this down. Make sure this is now straight and flat like the other one was. Took it out and run these wires underneath the rail into this general area here. And this is where we're going to make our connections. To prepare to open the trunk, we need to realize that certain things will have to be moved. If you have the arm extensions, even though the instructions don't say anything about them, I suggest you take these off first and then remove the other components. First, you have to remove these 3 screws on both sides. Note that the screws out here on the outer edges are shorter than the inside ones. When you pull this up, there's an electrical connector that you have to disconnect from the back side. After you remove the side bolts that goes on the side, I found it easier to just get a pair of pliers, this connector up here, squeeze this together, and it comes up. That way you get access to this connector now. You just press the tab and release it. And there, your backrest is free. Here's the connector. It remains with the bike. You can put it back on later. Start by putting the tool blade up against your backrest as such. And since I already had it loose, I took the wires under so I get nice and straight where I'm going to want it. Make sure it's level, even. Put some masking tape on it. Tape it in place. Based on this one, mine seems to be a little warped on this side. And to keep it a little forward the way you want it. Keep that in mind. Since we already removed the screws, we're going to lift this straight up to make sure that these wires are flowing from this and down through this plastic cover here in front of the speakers. We're going to run this wire along the wiring harness for the back seat backrest. Since this wire is already strapped, I mean coming out, we can lift this up now, and we're gonna run these wires along the same wires as the seat harness down up into this hole. There's nuts that made into the factory. It's got inside the back. We'll secure it with a twist tie. Then run it alongside the other wire harness down behind this panel. All we have to do is pull this panel out a little bit. Put that down behind there. The wire harness down in front of the speaker. Twist that tie this up. Make sure there's no binding. This thing going up and down. There's none. We're going to route this wire. And if you had the other one, like I did with the trunk light, you're going to run it down just in front of all these wires here. Run under the rail. There. So now this wire is going into the compartment, and we're going to hook it up to this wire harness that's already in place and tuck everything underneath the seat so it would all fit. Once you run the wires underneath the frame, then you're going to connect it to the respective wires identified by matching or similar colors on one side of the connector, the left side, and the two-prong connector is going to go to one of the connectors on the right side saddlebag, the wire harness. So that's all set. Now it's time for us to give it a check. And then I'm going to put all these wires away neatly. Next, I'm going to test it. See how it works. There you have it. That's the run light. That's turn. As you can see, the amber sequential. This is the right turn. Beautiful, beautiful. This is the brake. Should be nice and bright. I like that. There, successful install. I'm going to put the seat back together, and we'll see what it looks like once we put the seat back on. Seat back. And it's time to put the seat back on. And we just slip it over. Make sure we hook this connector up first. I should have left it disconnected so I can hook it up first. It's connected. Put it down. Fit it all down. At this point, I think it'd be better if we go ahead and secure the seat in place so I can make sure this remains snug. I think we need to go ahead and just put the screws back in the seat. Therefore, we won't have to worry about the thing being out of place. I think it will work anyway. I think the best thing to do is go ahead and put the screw back in. Hold it back. Make sure all the screws are lined up. And they're a little snug, but not too snug. So now we can focus on this. Because I noticed before that when it sits here, this seems a little bit away. I might push it forward against the seat to secure it. So with that being in place, all we got to do now, make sure that's up against that. And we can start by putting this piece of tape over here. Peel this back, lift it up a little bit. Works off too. Lift that up ever so slightly. Pull this back. Sure it's up against this back seat back. Make sure it's still snug. There she go. It's going to be 2 pieces. Hold that for 30 seconds. And go to the other side. Pull this one up ever so gently. Oh, this was the side I was complaining about earlier. Can't seem to be snug up against the seat back. And now I can actually set this down where I want to. Pull this along. There you have it. Hold this in place. 30 seconds. There you have it. I think it looks good, especially with this companion up front. I think it looks really nice. And now we can go in and finish letting down these screws in here, and that installation will be done. All I've got to do is put the arms back on the side and the pieces back together inside this trunk, and we'll be set. Now we've got the seat screws secured back down. Don't forget to reinstall these screws that go to the panel that goes to the speakers that we loosen to get the wires behind it. The last thing we have to do is put this access panel back on. All I gotta do is put it back up there and match it, snap it into place, and secure it with screws on the back side. All you have to do is get the 2 screws you took out, line this back up with this panel. Using your JIS number 2 screwdriver. Once you line that up, just put this screw back in over here. Hold the other side so I can start it. Get started. Good start. Do this one the same way. Put that in place. Alright, keep those up there. Push the screw in, then you push it from the other side. Get it started. Now just push that up. Screw the screws in. Then go into a hold straight. Don't over tighten. It's going into plastic. There, it's secure. You're done. Correction, you're almost done. I forgot that if you have the armrest to put back on, you need to do this on both sides. What I got to do is insert that back through the hole. Make sure you have them right side up. right where I had it. The little loop goes up. You put the screw in. Pull it up till it lines up. And make it snug. There, do that for both sides. And you will be done. And you put the seat back on. There you can see how it all works together. My regular light, my trunk light, and now the tool blade. You can see how they're working together. Makes it nice and beautiful.